One of the most common subjects we receive boatloads of questions on, and I'm sure your website even receives more than ours, is the reality of this. We receive questions. People think that you have to be rich to be able to do this. That's one conception they have, one thought. Secondly, what will I do for work, and how will I survive? And why don't you fill in our viewers on your perspectives? Is this a reality for most people? Is this actually a reality, or is it a dream?
It is a reality. Akaisha and I are living proof of that, in that we've been retired for 25 years. We retired in 1991 at the age of 38. And I've got a pretty simple formula for you to test out. And a major component of that is your spending. If you want to continue living like you are in the States or in Canada and spend at these levels, that's fine. If that's the lifestyle that you're happy with, that's fine. But the net worth, the liquid assets that you're going to need to sustain that spending level is going to be about 25 times your annual spending. So if you're spending $30,000 a year, you're going to need 25 times that, $750,000 in liquid assets in order to sustain that level of spending that you're spending now. The advantage of moving to a lower cost area like the DR is that your living costs are going to go down. You're not going to have heat. You're not going to have electricity. You can afford to have a maid, so your lifestyle is going to be better. The climate here is very good. Health care, a friend of ours pays for $127 a month for a family of three for a gold plan. He says he lives on about $1,200 a year, and that's for a family. Or $1,200 a month, excuse me.
Because he lives half the time at my place. No, that's another story, but we won't go
there. So it's it's the affordability index. If you wanna have the expensive hobbies and the expensive the expenses of being in a first world nation like the U.S. and the taxes and insurance and car insurance, health insurance, 2 cars, that's fine, that's great. But you're going to need the net worth to sustain it. Otherwise, you're going to be slipping backwards. Where if you can able to go offshore, there's and the DR is not the only country to do this. Mexico, Guatemala, Thailand, Costa Rica, Ecuador. There's a number of countries where there's pockets of expats in all of them, and they figured this out years ago. And that's what got us started on this back in the early or the late 80s, as we started meeting these expats, and they started putting some thoughts into our heads that we could do this. And so we penciled it out on the back of an envelope back then. Today we got computers to do all these simulation programs for you, but we just did it. Like I said, figure out what you're spending today, right now. Write down all your expenses, figure it out on an annual basis, multiply it by 25. If you've got that net worth, liquid net worth, then you're there.
Yeah, we've always taken a similar, like they say, you've been in Europe, same thing but different, an approach. We encourage people to think in net dollars, not gross dollars.
Definitely.
And that's all that's really important is what's in the Levi's at the end of the day. It doesn't matter the gross dollars that are going through, it's what's remaining.
I mean, you figure out you're going to, in the States, if you're working, you're going to give up 25 to 30% in taxes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, perhaps even more.
Oh, for sure. Well, we were living in California, and it was up to 53%. And that was enough for us.
Yeah, there's an old sign that says, beware free grease over the heavy shaft. And, and the more you make, it's hard to succeed in a system where you're penalized for performance.
Exactly.
And that's what many of our subscribers are finding themselves falling victim to. Another thing is they mistakenly think, oh, sure, it's easy for you because, you're rich. And that's another concept that's rich in life quality.
Exactly.
That's the thing. And
we're not Bill Gates.
No, nowhere near it.
We're not Warren Buffett. I'm not an investor genius.
But we do like Jimmy Buffett.
That's right. That's right. Well, he's rich also.
Yeah, but the thing is, all kidding aside, folks in many Western or what the term first world nations are, I'm sure you've been noticing your taxes are creeping up. You're working harder, longer, but yet you're netting less.
Right.
And it all depends on the lifestyle. You know, there's an old saying that there's nothing in everything and there's everything in nothing. A simple lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, having time with your spouse and family.
Mm-hmm.
And really, you know, key factor for you guys, is there anything you really miss? And, you know, be straight with us, and I'm not joking about that. Anything you really miss about the States, about your living, your quality of life in the States that you were living? Is there anything you've missed?
Now that our parents are gone, and our families are, Akaisha's closer to her family than I am, so I don't think so. But we've brought this up. We brought this up at a cocktail party amongst a bunch of gringos in Guatemala recently, and the way and they were all from the U.S. And the way I posed the question was, if you were not from the U.S., would the U.S. be on your radar as a place to retire to?
Mm-hmm.
And 100% said no.
Interesting.
You get a lot better quality of life at other locations.
Interesting.
This
Exactly.
would offer. This town would offer that.
So where is the total mindset of, is it like stuck in the box looking out? In other words, they can't see outside of the box. Where are we missing this, that so many are so fearful of leaving and going into other countries that we know offer us a much better, more sustainable life, a higher quality of life, and probably at 25% of the total cost? Where's the disconnect? Why aren't others seeing it?
First thing, I think debt has a lot to do with it. People in the States are buried in debt, and so they're servicing their debt. As far as the fear of trying something new, you know, we run into people and say, yeah, I've been to Mexico. I went to Cancun on a cruise. Well, I'm sorry, you didn't see Mexico. That's just not it. So they've got to take a chance. I mean, you know, life has risk, and there's rewards to that risk, and you got to make a conscious decision to try something new out of the box. Stretch yourself a little bit, and you may like it.
Well, come on down and take one of these tours.
Yeah.
I mean, see for yourself. Don't just take our word for it. Barry will show you all around and show you all the places, and it'll be tailored to what your particular style of life is. And some people don't like beaches; they prefer mountains, and there's plenty of those here. And you know, if you want high fine dining, or if you want just local kind of of restaurants, you can find those here too.
Akaisha, from a woman's point of view, share with the viewers the concept of fear.
You mean in terms of being a woman and walking around?
In terms of, you know, how the woman is in charge of the home, the fear, being able to make it, the safety factor. Did you feel afraid? You see, but you've been in so many countries, that's almost like a loaded question. Mm-hmm. But should the person who hasn't traveled...
But we're proactive with that, Barry, in that we don't wear a bunch of jewelry. We don't flash a lot of cash.
Absolutely.
You know, we try to stay under the radar.
Well, yeah, crime and stupidity are close cousins.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so we try to do preventive things regarding our personal security. You know.
But share with us a little bit of your perspectives about, you know, family, children, you know, things of this
I
nature.
think it's easier these days than it was when we first retired 25 years ago.
Definitely.
Back then, there was no internet, there was no Skype, there was nothing digital. You know, a letter would take a month to get back to the family. You know, calls worth $30 for a half an hour.
Right.
You know, and
we'd have to prepay our credit card because we use credit cards to book airline tickets.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you know, there's a 6-week delay or more, depending on your billing cycle. Well, we'd never see the bill, so we would just, before we left the States, we'd send a big check to the credit card company and hope that it covered it. Most time it covered. We'd make sure it over-covered it, and then we'd be dealing with them sending us a rebate check back. And sometimes it made it, and sometimes whatever.
But in terms of seeing family, I mean, I call my sister every week for a couple hours, you know, and we do Skype and with the video, and I probably talk with her more now than I ever did when I was in the same town, and because I've got something to share with her, and I mean, I don't know what she's up to, and she shares with me, and I think that fear is just, I think it's valid, but I think it's based in not in reality. I think give it a try and open up, and heck, if it doesn't work, go back home.
Yeah, it's not like it falls off the face of the earth if it doesn't work.
No.
But the only way you're ever going to know if it is right or it isn't right in almost anything you do, and that doesn't just mean relocating, is by making a decision to try it. Mm-hmm. You have to make a choice.
Yep.
And then if you don't like it, make another choice.
Exactly. When you get to the Y in the road, take it.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, because you can always can always go back. You can always make another decision. I mean,
Absolutely.
That's what life
4
is.
generations ago, people were doing it, and they were crossing in wooden tall ships.
exactly.
And here we are. People are afraid to get on an air-conditioned airplane, have a cab waiting for them,
Right.
walking into a nice rental, and restaurants, groceries, food stores, and people are all around them.
Right.
And they're afraid to do it now, but
Yeah.
our ancestors did it in tall
Right.
ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep. They were the pioneers.
Yeah,
We feel like we're the pioneers of
we're
our...
the pirates.
Take it easy. We feel like we're the pioneers of the early retirement revolution, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, although we're getting up there now, but we're not so early retired anymore. But
We've got 25 years.
we've got
of
25 years of
experience.
living and experiences that There's a saying that you can't take away the dance you danced,
Mm-hmm.
and so we've had our share of good dances.
Yeah, I guess obviously you're firm believers. It's not the length of the life; it's the life in the years.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.